we can change the world. And I believe that change begins with you and me.
I want to seriously thank Michael for putting this together and for all the work that he does to perpetuate the memory and the legacy of Leonard Matlovich, because it's so hard in this day and age of Twitter and Facebook and, you know, going out to the clubs and everything else to keep these things in mind and to even learn about those who came before us and those on whose shoulders we stand. And I have to say, Dr. Kameny, I feel sorry for you because I'm not a light person. So you better work on those shoulders. But seriously, like Michael mentioned, I sort of came out of the blue and was not something I would wish even on Elaine Donnelly. And it was something that I never wanted to think about again once I got my discharge paperwork. And luckily, my discharge was honorable, although it was certainly involuntary. I was a human intelligence collector in the Army, and like Michael mentioned, I'd confided that I was gay, and a friend of mine, and then she ended up outing me. And so just 6 months after 9/11, the Army, the military, the U.S. lost a multilingual human intelligence collector. And I think we probably needed people like that 6 months after 9/11, much less today. But several years went by before I was willing to come forward and to go public. And before I even recognized the full impact of my own experience and my own story, it took several years to have my own consciousness and awareness raised through the work of those who've come before us, through the work that was going on at the time and still goes on today, that I actually might make an impact if I decided to go public and move forward to help propel the movement to repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And it was in 2005, actually. I was living here in D.C. When I conceived of this idea of trying to get other young veterans just like myself, who probably didn't know a lot about the political stuff that's going on, but just had a passion and an experience and a story that they wanted to share. And it was then that I really decided to find other people like me and to try to get us the money and the capability to go around the country, not in places like D.C. and Los Angeles and San Francisco and New York and Chicago, but in places like Columbia, South Carolina, and Chattanooga, Tennessee, and Omaha, Nebraska, and Dahlonega, Georgia, and to meditate on and talk about and just absorb everything that we were about to embark upon, because we had no clue as young whippersnappers what we were getting into. But I have to tell you, it's been quite an experience. When I was discharged in 2002, the first sergeant in my unit said, when I was standing before the commander, having been read my rights, he said, "Now, Nicholson, I don't want you to say one word about this to anybody else in the unit. I want you to keep quiet. I want you to shut up. Do you understand that I am ordering you to shut up?" And he succeeded in silencing me, not only for the rest of the time I was being processed out, but for years afterwards. But from that moment on, I have not shut my mouth, and I do not plan to. And not only have I not shut my mouth in English, I, like Dan, have started not shutting my mouth in Arabic. And I loved it the other night on CNN. Many of you saw, I'm sure, where Dan said to Elaine Donnelly, and if you cannot understand that question, then you need to shut up. We'll have a complimentary message to pass on to Elaine today as well, and to all of those who try to keep us out. And I think Dan may be the only one here who understands this. أنا كنت مستجوب في الجيش الأمريكي وأنا أتكلم 5 لغات وتشملها اللغة العربية. I was a human intelligence collector in the U.S. Army, and I speak 5 languages, including Arabic. And I would go back into the military tomorrow if Don't Ask, Don't Tell were repealed today. And the day after Don't Ask, Don't Tell is repealed, you can find me and Dan from this guy that I'd never heard of before, who said, "I've seen your work and you've inspired me, and I want you to mentor me." And that's when I first started, I guess you could say, coaching and contributing to the work that Dan Choi has done to continue the work that I started 4 years ago and that many others have started years before myself. But with that, I just want to wrap up by not only thanking those who have come before me, but those who are fighting with me now and who will come after me, as well as those like Michael, who helped to perpetuate the memory and the legacy and the work and the service of those on whose shoulders we continue to stand. Thank you.
When I was in the military, they gave me a medal for killing 2 men and a discharge for loving 1.